So it turns out that I am 4 books away from beating my Goodreads reading challenge for the year, and this video is just going to be all about the last 4 books I plan to read for that challenge. Cue the intro. As I have spent the majority of this year travelling, my reading definitely took a hit while I was away. I read almost nothing compared to previous years when I was home, but since I am only 4 books away, I really want to beat this challenge and then set myself a new goal for 2017. The books I have chosen are all relatively short or small books, because while I realise that we have 10 days left in 2016, it's also 5 days till Christmas, and at Christmas I get a PlayStation, so I know the majority of my time after that will be spent killing bad guys and saving the world, because that's just what I do. Enough about PlayStation, let's get to the books. So the first book I'm going to read is going to be The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I recently read We Have Always Lived in the Castle by her and really enjoyed it, and I also forgot to mention it in my wrap-up, so I guess that one will be carried over for next month. That was actually my first Shirley Jackson book, and I didn't really know what to expect. A lot of people have told me they're sort of spooky, they're ghost stories. What I didn't really expect was that sort of dark tone that the first book really gave me. There's an opening chapter where she's literally walking through a village, imagining in her head that all the villagers are dead, and she's just doing her shopping, you know, picking up her cereal as she stands over a dead body. I thought the imagery was sick, but really enjoyable. I don't actually know too much about this book. Apparently, you know, it's a haunting of Hill House. So I am actually just going to go in blind with this and see what I think. I know this is supposed to be her most beloved book, so I'm really excited to read this one. Next book I'm going to read is one that has been out for a long time, has been all over BookTube. I have owned it for about 4 years, and I've just never got round to it, which surprises a lot of people, and that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This book was huge. Like, you couldn't escape a BookTube video a few years ago without hearing about this book, and I really like the sound of it, but it's gone to that point where it's been so long I don't really remember what it's about. I know it's supposed to be about a video game somehow, and I know there are a lot of pop culture references thrown in, but what really excites me, and I don't know if it should or not, is on the front cover of this it says Willy Wonka meets the Matrix, which just doesn't sound like it should work. But people have told me that I will simply just fly through this novel because it is that enjoyable, so that is why I'm going to read it so late in the year while I'm on a time limit. To make things even easier on me, the third book I'm going to mention is going to be Volume 2 in the Cardcaptor Sakura series. If you saw my book haul that I did, I bought these in Japan. This is a manga series. I'm already halfway through and I'm really enjoying it. The first volume ended on a cliffhanger, so I was really excited to pick them up again. These manga stories actually have it all. There is comedy, there is action, there's romance. It's all really well done, and the art style is really good. Considering that this is my first manga, I am very impressed. The fourth and last book I have to talk to you about is sort of the weirdest one. By far, it might be one of the weirdest books I've ever mentioned on my channel, and that is Crash by J.G. Ballard. Some of you may be familiar with the 80s movie of this novel starring James Spader, and to sum it up really briefly, this is about a group of people who get sexually aroused by car crashes. If you've seen the movie, you know how weird it is. They sort of like scars, and they all sort of sit around watching those crash derby type things. But while the movie is really weird, I would also say it's a good movie. It has 80s James Spader, which is, you know, I know he doesn't look so good now, but Google a picture of him in the 80s and you will understand. But this is a really short book, and it's always been one of those things where it's so weird that it really makes you want to read it. Of our main character, the back actually says, ultimately, he craves a union of blood, semen, and engine coolant. And that just sounds hilariously interesting in a way. So I will be reading this one and seeing what it's about. The front says, a work of very powerful originality. Well, I can't see anybody else coming up with that concept, to be quite honest. So yes, can't wait to read this one and see how gross or interesting it is. But there you have it. Those are going to be the 4 books that I plan to read to beat my Goodreads challenge in 2016, before starting my new challenge in 2017, which will hopefully be a lot more productive. As always, if you have read any of the books mentioned in this video, leave me some comments below and we'll have a little chat. But that is going to be all from me for today, and I shall see you soon with another video. Goodbye!